that's what I got, And every day you go, well, you make it up as it is. There's not going to be that perfect moment where it's all going to fit in and
that's right.
And we're going to explode.
Aren't you still creating?
Yes.
Aren't you still evolving and new and more and more?
Every day you get challenges, and every time you go, you have your little ups and downs, and you work with yourself, and you learn to lift yourself, you learn to ask for help, and that's another thing my mother always used to say. I love some of her quotes, which I want to give you. Change the channel. Change the channel is when you actually change from a place where you are to a different place, and you have your remote in your hands, and you say, okay, change the channel. And
especially if you don't like what's on TV.
Exactly.
Change the channel.
If you don't watch the Fear Factor, watch the Love Factor.
Yes.
Never watch the Fear Factor, by the way. And so you do that. She also used to say, if you were not ready to decide about something, she would say, darling, let it marinate. Let it sleep on it. You don't ever push yourself to decide on something.
Which is something I think is so important, that we rush to try to figure out what is the right, perfect thing. We women are perfectionists, God bless us all. We have such good intentions. But it's more important for you to live into the question than to try to have the answer.
Yes.
Because in the questioning, you will create so many extraordinary things, and the world needs us all ovaries turned on full force.
And especially now, because the crisis of everything that's going on, and I think it's a spiritual crisis, because it's either you're grounded in your spirit, and then everything will happen the way it's supposed to happen, and if the people who are struggling and they are fighting their spirit,
that's
because they're coming from, I need to do it this way, or it should be done this way, are going to have a very hard time.
Well, I think, and I love the way you phrase it as a spiritual crisis. I look at it as the world has been so lacking
saturated
in the feminine energies that is missing. And what I loved about reading this beautiful journey that you've taken,
a tender journey.
It is tender. It is compassionate. It is delicate, and it is so at the core so feminine. It is a feminine story of creating out of the void. How do you, instead of pushing, striving, grasping, being in that struggle, you just said, I surrender to the grace in my life and in the beauty in my heart, and you let that lead you to this.
To the moment of just actually creativity.
That's right.
And when you realize that it's not a linear path.
No,
it's not from A to B to
it's
C.
loopy.
You go from A, you go to Z.
That's right.
And maybe you jump into K.
And all of the flow living women know that for sure we're all about attuning to our cycles. And why I want you to read this book is because I want you to see in real practical terms what it looks like to live those loopy cycle creative process, because it can lead you to such extraordinary success, extraordinary creativity, and a magical life. I mean, whenever I get an email from Agapi, it's like sprinkled with fairy dust. You channel that energy.
Yeah, that energy comes in, and then you learn to channel it to yourself.
That's right.
To give it to yourself. I want to tell our wonderful flow living goddesses that one of the greatest things that I learned is you are not alone. And that was such a revelation to me. And again, there's a story in the book where I couldn't write the book. My first book, I was so stuck. And I had the contract, and I was completely, I said, it wasn't fear, it was terror. It's like terror.
More fear, more than fear.
Terror, like in my body, my cells were going, I can't do this, I'm paralyzed. It's a horrible feeling. And this gorgeous girlfriend of mine, and gorgeous, I mean, she was a scientist, and she was like so filled with spirit, came and stayed with me. I think God sent the gods and the goddesses, and God sent her and said, go sleep at Agapi's couch because she needs to hear a message. And the message was, you have everything to write this book, but you lack one thing, confidence. And you think you have to write it alone, and your confidence comes to know that you're not alone, that you have support from your ancestors, from your spiritual guides, from your spirit. And when you partner with that, the Niagara Falls are going to open. And that's exactly what happened. And I describe in the book the process from paralyzation to activation to maturation to gushing of the creativity. And I went through it step by step. So I know that feeling of completely not knowing where to go next, and then that the answers are there as we partner and affirm that part. So do not do it alone. That is the most important key I can communicate to you.
And trust that you have all that you already
And
need.
fake it if you can't make it. Just say, I'm not alone. Agapi said I'm not alone. I'm going to just give it a shot. You know, I feel alone, but okay, I'm not alone. I'm just going to make it up. And see, it will start happening.
What would you like to see happen for our viewers? What would, if you could ideally fantasize for
I would
them
like
a
them
vision?
to all come and have a Greek picnic with me.
Oh, let's do
I
that.
made moussaka, no, not moussaka, spinach pie that I made with Martha Stewart, and octopus, and little wine, and dance. That's what I would like. I would like all us to sit around and
Be creative and be playful and be sensual and be in pleasure.
in touch.
Yes.
Kind of connect.
Yes,
Because
and
I'm
cuddle.
Greek, and cuddle, because I like to connect.
Yes.
I'm not a stiff person. So I love that connection. But truly, what I would love to see for all of you is to find your spark, to ignite yourself, to have it available to you. And once you find it, even if it's little, wherever you find it, whatever ignites you and makes your spark come alive, to follow that and to trust that others will come and support it. And I don't know if you've ever been to the church, Catholic or Greek, where you need one candle to light another. And that's what we are. We are not a solitary island. We are all connected in the deep, like islands in the ocean. We're connected in the deep. We look separate, but we need each other. And as we call forward and ask for the help and support, our spark can be ignited even more. So I encourage you, find your spark, never leave home without it. Not your American Express, but your spark. And that's what I want to share with you. I found mine, and I keep igniting it, and I keep asking for support all the time. So I give you my support to ignite your spark, and I'm here for you.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing your story, your soul, your heart in this
Thank you,
book.
my darling.
Ladies, please, please pick up this book. Give yourself this juicy gift of connecting with such creativity and pleasure and play and heart. And do the experiment Agapi has set out for you. Do the homework. Find your spark and share it with another person, and give your creativity to the world, because the world needs you. I thank you so much.
Thank you, darling.
Such a
so
pleasure.
much, Alicia, my soul sister. Thank you
Yes.
so much for all you're doing
Oh, my
to
pleasure.
really enhance women's and men's lives. Because when women are enhanced, they will enhance men's lives, and the men need
Don't
us.
we know it?
The men need us
That's true.
completely.
That's
Thank you,
true.
sweetheart.
Oh, such a pleasure. Mwah. All right, ladies, we'll see you next
Yasu,
time.
Yasu,
Yasu.
as you say in Greek. Yasu. We can all go break plates together somewhere.
Perfect. Bye.
I'm quite feeling like